I'm here at the Stock Market Workshop doing a special session. It's a Q&A and we're just going to be talking about whatever questions they have around mindset psychology or productivity. So I'm really excited to be able to share my knowledge here. So going up now.
So let's give my partner Madrika a big round of applause.
If you have pain, if you've got some sort of a disease, or you can't walk, or you can't do this, or you can't do that, that will shift your values to go up higher because it becomes a need now. It becomes a must. I'd look to change your approach on how you speak to them and come from their place. Often communication is lost when you do it from your space. So if you come from that detail-orientated mind going, I need you to shift, I need you to do this, I need you to change, sometimes they can't understand that because you're coming from what I call your model of the world, your mind. Whereas if you shift into his and come from his place and try and explain it to him from that space, he'll be able to understand it a bit more. So you do it from an optimistic point of view. You know, you kind of explain that, you know, I'm optimistic too, I love your optimism, what motivates me. However, the way I function, what I bring to maybe the business partnership is that I can be detail orientated so we can do this. Then you ask the question, how can we work better together? Do you think we do work better together? Ask lots of questions to figure out what's going on in his mind so that you can maybe use some of those things to then be able to explain it. So come from his shoes. Like look to stand in his shoes and go, if I was him, how could I explain it to him? That should help you with the communication. The biggest thing I've learned through a personal development journey of 20 years is know what works for you. Know yourself, because we're so quick at going to experts and going, I need to do that exactly that way. You take that information and you put it into your own life. What works for you? What do you enjoy? Where does it sit with you? How can I be the best version of me? And that's my primary question. I'll always go, how can I be the best version of me? When things get hard, I'll go, how can I be the best version of me in this time? That helps me, is just asking the right question in your own mind. Secondly, it's a coach. I am not superhuman. That's why I don't want to be superwoman, because I'm not. I'm just a human being. I've just got things that I've put in place that allows me to do the things that I do. I have had a coach for 20 years in some form or the other. Even when I had a baby coach teaching me how to get them to sleep on time, how to give them food and all those things. So it's just as things change in your life, you have coaches for different things. The way to stay motivated, there would be an underlying thing there when you're not motivated with something, is what's your reason for doing that thing. But if it's in general you're asking me the question, it's about having a coach. We basically, if you look at, we have the pillars of wealth. So I focus on property, Marcus focuses on investing and trading, and we do the business together. So yeah, he's the face of investment mastery mainly. I run the business behind the scenes. So we just thought in the early days when we were actually on the journey, we decided that would leverage really well. I love doing property, he loves trading, it just makes sense to do it. Even though recently I have been looking to sit with Dennis to look for some easy ISA strategies, because I'm passionate about teaching women to trade for their children so that they have a really lovely nest egg, because Marcus has been doing that for our children and I think it's a very powerful thing to do. So I'm going to be, actually from next week, I'm going to be sitting with Dennis and learning some simple strategies, or honing the strategies a little bit to really kind of go, how can I teach this more general to women who may be sitting maybe at home and not knowing what career to go into, but about building a little nest egg for their children's future as an ISA. As a woman, you absolutely have, being emotional beings is the key. So that is one thing you absolutely got to live in your core at. It's a way of you getting feedback that something's going on. But you know, so enjoy that. A lot of women don't. A lot of women go into their masculine energy when it comes to anything that they don't want to do, especially around wealth. We tend to go into that masculine mode. Awareness. So the biggest thing that I do is I'm constantly aware of what's going on in my mind. I will ask the question, it's like if I feel an emotion, I will go, okay, what's going on for me? That's the question I'll ask myself. And it's always internal, it's never outside. I'll go, okay, what's going on for me? Okay, well, I didn't like the way that person talked to me, but why not? Okay, well, they were a bit rude. Okay, well, that doesn't matter, they're having a bad day. Then I'd kind of shift that myself. Or if they were out of order, I'd actually go and have a conversation with them and say, I don't really like the way you spoke to me. How did that come about? So it's awareness, it's catching that thought and going, okay, what's going on for me? It's something you practice. If you practice enough, you'll actually hone that skill. But it's being aware of something's going on. You might not know straight away what to do with it. I did train in NLP 15 years ago, and I think that's why I'm really good at it, because I see the importance of catching that negative thought, because you know what will happen if you don't. That's when I start doing interventions with people, and then knowing that what the impact is, it means that you can really pick it up at an early stage. But the awareness, I would say, is really catching that thought and going, okay, and then maybe speaking to somebody about it, going, I'm feeling this, do you think it's right or wrong? Not too many people, the right people. Like this sort of supportive environment would be great. If you're having come to our members meeting, those sorts of areas are a great place to talk to people about. If money is an issue when you're delegating, you can get creative. You can do swaps, you can do service swaps. There's loads of different things like that you can do. So one is delegating, really looking at who else can do things. Now, I had some issues around my belief systems around this, and I know that commonly a lot of people do. They think that they're being lazy by delegating certain things, especially around the home. So, that's also something that when beliefs come up, just really check in with, is that really true? Or is it just something that came from your parents or schooling or something like that? The other thing I do a lot of systems. So I hate doing something twice. So I'll always look to systematize something. So for example, I hate packing my suitcase when I go on holiday. So I now have a list. So I never have to do it again. And then it's on an Excel spreadsheet, list of everything that we need. It gets printed, and then I highlight what I want to take. I actually give it to my cleaner and my stylist, and they actually pack the bag for me. But even when I didn't have a stylist or a cleaner, I used to still have a spreadsheet. And I just print it every single time, and it gets highlighted. And then it's tick it off, just so I don't have to think again. Shopping list, I did the same. Excel spreadsheet, shopping list. Print it off every week, buy from it. So just systems really is a big one as well. I chunk my diary, all the things I absolutely must do that I can't miss go in red, and then everything else is color coded in my diary. Chunks go project times, things like that as well. So for example, you guys putting in your Monday call is absolutely vital, that you never miss it, and I'd put that in red. And the 20 minutes a day that you want to be trading, you put that in your diary as well, so it flags up and always shows up there.